Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mike Kollin at MikeKollin.com. So there are some tough lessons in life, and I would say for the most part, especially if you're empathic or an emotionally based person, a heart-based person, they're tough lessons not because you're doing something wrong in the sense of being a bad person. It's you're doing something wrong in the sense of being a good person. So it's kind of hard to realize, like, well, why does life have to be this way? Like, I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm being a good person. And because of that, that is it really is some of the heartbreaking toughest lessons in life. And it's kind of odd because growing up you think, oh, I've got to be a good person, I've got to be a good person. So because that's what you hear, and it turns out for some people that's where they're at. So right now, as I'm saying this video, like literally right now in the last 7 seconds, those are people that are at a lower level. If you have to learn that, hey, you're being a bad person, you're hurting people, like what you just did is wrong, you've got some anger issues, you got jealousy, I mean, those are lower level people. I'm talking about people that are at the level of, the lessons I have to learn is that I'm being nice to people and those people are hurting me because of it. It's kind of it's a hard concept to understand, that if you help someone, it's going to upset them. That's such a weird, even if they ask you. Another hard concept to understand is that you could be nice, say something nice, or just something neutral or normal, and next thing you know, someone is really pissed off, and you're like, well, what's going on here? I don't, like, you don't understand. And the way you respond is, well, I'm going to be even nicer because I'm going to try to show them, like, hey, I'm your friend, I'm on your side, and that makes them even angrier, and it is a really almost a lifelong lesson of confusion of, like, this doesn't make any sense. Why would you be mad at me? It's because the way they perceive life. You know, it's not just narcissists. Narcissists are kind of like the extreme version, example, and or lesson or teacher of, you could say something proper, nice, cool, awesome, and they're going to twist it into like you just attacked them. And they're going to go around telling everyone you're this horrible person. Oh my God, how could they do this to you? And some of the people are going to be like, wait, what? What are you talking about? Do what? And then they're going to get mad at that person because they didn't join the hate bandwagon. And that person's like, but they didn't do anything wrong. They were being nice to you. You know, one of the things I've said on this channel for a long, long time is, it's a little bit separate, but it kind of applies here. It's like, one of the things I learned from a football coach when I was in college, he said, well, didn't you know that there are certain rules that allow an offense, depending on the way they line up, that the offensive lineman can only move 3 to 5 different directions, and if this guy does this on when they hike the ball, that means this guy has to do A or B. And what it does, it simplifies everything. I'm like, oh, because to me, football, especially the offensive line, was the most complicated thing in the world. I didn't understand it. I was a running back. I didn't care. I just did what I was supposed to do. So to keep this story short, is he said, well, haven't you learned that everything you do in life, there's patterns to everything that you do. And once you see the patterns, everything becomes simple. He goes, haven't you noticed in math, blah, 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 how this repeats and that repeats on every level? Like, I said, no, actually, I never thought about that. He goes, well, haven't you noticed? And he started naming all these, science and, whatever. He goes, Michael, when you go far enough in any kind of profession, when you really dedicate yourself, you see the patterns and you realize, oh, wait a minute, this actually isn't that complicated. And I'm going to give you an example. So in football, there's a lot of plays. There's a lot of trick plays. There's just a lot of plays. You got to memorize hundreds of plays and all the different variances. And what if this defensive lineman crashes down and instead of going in the direction he's supposed to go to, what do you do then? Everyone has to shift. And to me, that was just so complicated. He goes, well, yeah, but you don't understand, Michael. You're just memorizing all the plays. You're not seeing the pattern. When you see the pattern, you're like, oh, there really is only so many combinations, like 5 combinations of any given play. And depending on how you line up, whether you're on the line, off the line, et cetera, he goes, there's only 3 to 5 possibilities. And then once the ball is hiked, if they do this, that means the other guy can't do this and he has to do that. He goes, all of a sudden everything is simplified. Never in my life did I look at football like that. And all of a sudden, the patterns started to reveal themselves. Now I'm going to apply this to personal development, narcissist abuse, just abuse of people in general, and what we need to learn on this level. So I'm going to go ahead and read this. We'll lead off with this. So sometimes you have to suffer in life, not because you're a bad person, but because you didn't know when to stop being good to the wrong person. Now that just simplifies everything. One thing that's going online in the internet is all the red flags, red flags, red flags. It really should come down to something very, very simple. Are people loving towards you? Are they just kind, loving, and empowering? Do they support you? Are they good to you? Do you feel good when you're around them? It really is that simple. If you walk away from someone and you don't know why, you just have doubt and you feel insecure, or you feel shame or anything negative, that right there is telling you they're doing, and you know what they are, they're doing something to make you feel that way. They're cutting you down. They're, oh, I'm just backhanded comments, and then their get out of jail card is, oh, I'm just joking. Oh, I'm just joking. If someone tells you they're just joking, take that get out of jail free card and say, that's bullshit. I don't think it's funny, and I don't care if you're joking. Don't do it anymore, because it's not funny to me. All of a sudden, they can't use that, oh, I'm just joking card. Okay, so let's get to the core of this overall message for what this video is about. So here's the thing that happens. For those of you that are at this level, probably most of your life, people have been unfair to you. They've been mean to you. They've shamed you. They've publicly humiliated you. They've done some of the worst things in the world to you. And it's been going on for so long. Now, if you're not there yet, this is why this video is made. What these people, especially as you get older, they don't understand. Like, you have been hurt, abandoned, set up, had the rug pulled out from underneath you for no reason at all. Other than people are just jealous of you because you're at a higher level and they can see it and they hate it. And they hurt you and they attack you. They lie about you. Okay, I'm going to say it from my perspective. And I could say you, but I'm going to use it from my perspective. What happens with a lot of people are like, man, that didn't bother that guy at all. Like, holy shit, like we're throwing everything at him, including the kitchen sink. Why doesn't it bother him? Because I've had so much stuff done to me since I was a little kid that after a while, like, okay, again, this is what this video is about. Something will shift. Something will change. It's kind of like, well, this is just life. I mean, it's almost like playing football and you get knocked on your ass and you're like, well, that's just football. You tackle each other, you hit each other, you block each other. That's football. Like, why would that bother me? In other words, there comes a time, and as you're going through it, you're becoming more and more like this, even if you don't quite realize it. But there comes a point in time where you just don't care. It doesn't even anger you anymore. You just, oh, okay, we just walk away from those people, and that's okay. This is one of the biggest lessons that happened to me was, I came to a point where like, oh, I'm done, and I swear to God, from my solar plexus belly area all the way around me, like this energy just boom, it expanded all the way across not the universe, but the earth. Like it expanded all the way out of, I'm done. And I remember the moment that happened. The people in that parking lot felt that everyone got quiet and they all looked over at me, even the people that were 20 feet away. And the person I was with, she was like, what was that? I'm like, I don't know, but I'm just done. And I felt it. I was very conscious of it. But something shifted. And from that point forward, I stopped giving a damn about anybody who's purposely trying to hurt me, slow me down, play games, set me up. You see it and you walk away. Whereas before, I would try to get these people not to be mean to me. I try to be nice and, put all this work in, and that's what that image I showed you is like. You got to know when to stop being nice to people that are not being nice to you. I mean, that is one of the core patterns. So okay, here's the deal. You can hear me say this, but until you do it, until you're like, I'm done, and you just walk away, you don't explain. And this is what I did in this situation. I was like, because it was like 9 months where I kept trying to sit down with this person, like, hey, like, why are you doing this? Why do you, why don't you come over next week and we'll talk about it? Well, let's do it next, let's go to lunch today. I don't want to talk about today. And you learn like, no, I'm not doing that. Suddenly your life becomes easier. It's literally like picking weeds in your garden. Every now and then you got to go out there and spend 5 or 10 minutes and pick weeds, and that's what it's like. What's the I'm trying to think of the word that people say. Your cutoff game, okay? I don't really like to use the word game, but it is. It's like you just get really good at cutting people off. You're like, oh, you're being rude, you're being disrespectful, you're playing mind games, you're wasting my time. You said you're going to be here at such time and you never showed up. I'm done. When people do stuff like that, I'm done. So life becomes easier. And a lot of you are thinking, God, Mike, I'm in this dark place. You're in a dark place because you think that you need to explain yourself to these people. You think that you need to sit down and talk with them. No, you don't. If someone is doing you wrong, that's who they are. That's what they are. They do not change. They will not change. No matter what you say or do to them, they will not change. The only thing that can happen is that you change. That you say, I'm done putting up with this crap. People that are doing these things don't care about you at all. Zero. I'm not talking about some nightmare thing where they got you fired or they made you homeless. I'm talking about people that disrespect you. They embarrass you in front of your friends. They embarrass you in front of your colleagues. It could be little things like that here and there. I'm telling you, those people are going to build up and build up. They're going to do worse things. That's why when you see the rudeness, you see the disrespect, you see someone make plans with you and they don't show up, be done with them. Block them immediately. Because each and every one of these demons, they always start small. Because if they do something really big, like hit you in the head with a baseball bat, or drug you, or poison you, or get you fired, or some big massive thing like get your husband to leave you, or whatever, you're going to automatically cut them off because you're going to be like, dude, that's fucked up. I don't even know you. And that's why they start with little things. It's like poking you to see how you react. They poke you a little more. You don't react a little more. So it's conditioning. They're conditioning you to accept abuse until the point is they do something so extreme, like try to murder you, kill you, do other things, that it's too late. They've destroyed you. I'm sure you guys have heard the psychological study where they put frogs in a pot on the stove and they put it in regular water temperature, but they slowly turned up the temperature so slow. See, what happens with amphibians is they match the temperature that's around them. So they become that temperature so they can be comfortable. So what happens is they don't really notice, like, holy shit, it's getting really hot in here. It's just because their temperature's matching it. So that's why they slowly raise up the temperature to the point where it's boiling and it's too late and they can't get out and they're already dead. And this is what these narcissistic people do. They condition you to accept a little abuse. And one of their get out of jail free cards is, I am telling you. If anybody uses this card on you, walk and block. Period. End of sentence. And the get out of jail card is, oh, I was just kidding. I was just joking. I know someone who got their fellow employee beaten up because they were talking bad about them. They put people's lives in danger and they think it's a joke. They think it's funny. And they'll say, oh, I was just joking. And then I said, that person didn't think you were joking. That person didn't think you were joking. That person didn't. So all these people that you're supposedly joking to are taking you deadly serious. Keyword, deadly serious. The only person that thinks you're joking is you. Nobody that you're talking to, nobody that's receiving this joke is taking this as a joke, because this is deadly serious. Because it never was a joke. That's just their get out of jail free card if you call them on their shit. And when they use that get out of jail free card, you call them on it. You say, bullshit, don't ever do that again. It's not effing funny. And you let them know, hands down. So that's another aspect of this whole thing is, one of the things is that you're afraid to speak up for yourself. Well, here's what happens. You get numb to that too. Once you start doing it, all of a sudden they're like, oh shit, I can't use my get out of jail free card anymore. Because you took that right away from them. And this is part of mastering this. I don't want to call it a game because I don't think it's a game and I don't think it's funny at all. But you're seeing the simplicity. All of a sudden when you're like, oh, like all these little things you begin to like, oh, I'm done. And you walk away sooner. You're like, wow, that was different. Because, okay, when you walk away from people and you refuse to talk to them ever again, or if you have to work with them, you're just like totally business, totally serious, and they're like, oh, I'm just joking. And you're like, yeah, I'm not joking, so please get back on to business. They're like, whoa, shit. Yeah, I can't play this game with this person anymore. They change. They're like, oh, shit. Here, okay, let me just put it this way. In my experience, here's what happened. This group of people were harassing me, playing these games, setting me up. I called them on it, and I refused to even acknowledge them. Didn't say, to this day, I won't say a word to them. I'll look right past them. I do not give a shit. Here's the weirdest thing in the world that I never expected to happen. All of a sudden, they're on the defensive. That's not even the right word. All of a sudden, they're like, oh, shit. It's like you refuse to play their game, and they don't know what to do. You won't talk to them. You won't acknowledge them, and they're just like, oh, because if you don't interact with them, there's nothing they can do. I'm not finding the right word. I'm going to tell you this. It is the most empowering experience I've ever experienced in my entire life. It is life-changing. All of a sudden, you're in charge again. You're in the driver's seat because you took their power. Like they're completely powerless now. The only power they ever had was the power that you gave them by acknowledging them. I'm just going to put it this way. When you stop acknowledging these people, there's nothing they can do. Here it is. Once I got to the point where I was like, oh, okay, here it is. No matter what I did, they were never going to stop being mean to me. No matter what kindness, hey, can we sit down and talk? I think we had a misunderstanding. And no matter, if anything, now they're like, oh yeah, we got this sucker. We're reeling him. It's like reeling in a fish. Like we got you hooked. When I opened my mouth and let go of that hook, it just flung right back in their face. And they're like, oh shit, there's nothing to pull here. And that's what I'm saying. There's nothing to pull because you realized, oh, no matter what I do, you guys are going to be assholes to me. You realize then there's no reason to try to make this work with these people. And suddenly the game stops because there's nothing to reel in. You don't care what they think about you. When you get to that point, they're like, oh man, no matter what we do, it doesn't matter. We're just looking like a bunch of clowns. You know, this is the third time I brought this up. My goddaughter came home from school. She was, I think, 10th grade in high school, and she was looking forward to it because if you're a woman, you understand this. Men don't understand this. If you're a female, if you're at the bottom of the totem pole, the higher up girls treat you like absolute crap. So 9th grade is a nightmare. You get the 10th grade, you get a little bit of seniority, and the getting treated like shit kind of gets passed down, to the girls beneath you, so you don't catch as much shit as before. She was looking forward to having a better year, and what happened was some of the girls called her, I'm going to say it, the SL word, the slut word, and she came over stressed out, freaking, oh my god, what am I doing? And I knew, like, when she walked in the door, I was like, oh shit, like she was really like humiliated, worried, and scared, because I think she knew like they're not going to stop. And that's exactly what I thought the moment she came in through the door. So I did like 100 miles an hour. My brain went super fast. What do I do? How do we do this? Do a reframe. Do this. Do that. So I literally turned around and I said, oh, that's because you are a slut. And now this is called a pattern interrupt. In a million years, I was the last person she would ever think would hurt her. So her brain got confused, and that's a good thing. It's literally a technique. It pops you out of the emotion. So now I've got her out, and then what I did is I gave her brain what that means. I shifted the meaning. It's a meaning reframe is what it's called. It changes the meaning because in her mind it was this horrible, monstrous thing, which essentially it is. But I knew if it stayed like that, the girls were going to hurt her at school even more because they realized, like, oh yeah, we're really getting her, and they're going to enjoy hurting her. And as long as they realize it's affecting her, they're not going to stop. I realized in that moment she's about to live an entire 3 years of a nightmare if she doesn't change this. So I looked at her and said, "Oh, well, you are a slut." And she was like, "Wait, what?" I said, and that means you're cute and sexy. And she goes, and you could see her eyes go left, right, up, down. "Oh, okay." And she started to smile, and all of a sudden her emotions had a dramatic shift. So now this got linked in, or what we call anchored in. So when someone called her that, it made her feel confident. It made her feel really cute and sexy, and that made her feel good about herself. And here I am laughing, knowing this is already going to, the effect that's going to happen. So when these girls do this to her, it's going to put her into a positive, empowering state, which is not what they want. So what happened was she came over about 3 to 5 days later, and she started talking to me. She was in a really good mood, and I looked at her and said, "Hey, man, are those girls still," I think it was 5 days later, "are those girls still calling you the S word?" And she goes, "Well, they were for a while." Now she's in a really positive, empowered mood. But they stopped for some reason. It was like a disappointment because now they're not calling her cute and sexy anymore. So the girls realized, oh, this isn't working. And that's what I'm talking about. When you stop caring, see, here's one of the reframes I'll do with people. It's like, well, take a look at them. Nobody likes that person. Everyone knows they're a liar. Everyone knows they're you got to understand, these people that are attacking you have attacked a lot of other people. They can't help it. It's like a bird flies. It's what it does. And a narcissist plays mind games. It's what it does. It can't help it. It doesn't have any other way to deal with people. Okay, here's one of the patterns. If you've been studying narcissist abuse on YouTube, you know there's a set pattern. There's the love bombing phase, okay? And they go through all these love bombing things. And then there's the devaluing phase, and then there's the ghosting phase, and then there's the hoovering phase. And within these phases, there are different steps within each phase. And after a while, you start going, wait a minute, here we go. Here comes the game again, and you see it. And you start realizing this isn't that complicated. And here's another thing. Once you see it, it's very similar to what I did with my goddaughter. It's like it causes you to take a step back and look at it and go, oh, well, what the hell is this? And you start to become curious about it versus terrified or hurt. And all of a sudden, you slowly but surely figure out more and more of the game. You become more confident, you become more comfortable, and they get smaller and smaller in your eyes, and you're starting to realize, oh yeah, here it goes. There's the love bombing phase. Oh, here's the devaluing phase. Oh, they're belittling me. They're cutting me down. They're doing all the BS. Oh, there they are talking behind my back. Well, you just start picking up on it, and you just look at them like, wow. Like, you start to realize, like, these people don't feel good about themselves. These are the people that needed to learn, hey, you got to be good to people, but they never did. Instead, they went in the opposite direction, and as they get older and older, they have less and less friends. In fact, the person that I was recently had an experience with, he has no friends, like none. I mean, zero. So you start having these realizations, and it shifts things in your mind in a way they start to seem, it's like you took a huge, like 5 or 10 mental steps back, and it's like you're watching a movie instead of being in the movie. And you start realizing, like, man, that is just so weak for them to do stuff like that. You start to see them for who and what they are. And you also realize, okay, it's not just a realization. You can see the way other people are interacting with them. You're like, oh, they're not like lowering their shield. They're not opening up. Like, they see it too. So here's what I'm saying in this video. If you're not there yet, you're getting there. And there will be a point in time where you just don't care. Okay, here's another lesson that I learned about narcissist abuse. You're thinking, but Michael, they turned all those people against me. And you're probably... yes and no. Here's what I mean. What I realized one day, I thought, those people weren't my friends in the first place. They never called me. They never hung out with me. They never this. And they were always... It's like they're looking for a reason not to like you. They're one of them, and that's the thing that you haven't realized yet, but you'll start to see it. Here's what happened with me about 7 or 8 years ago. I started flashing back to memories in high school when these kids were mean to me and, talking behind my back, and they joined up in a group, and I'm like, why I don't understand, and I would try to explain, and even in my 30s, I used to try to tell, like, why are you mad at me? I didn't do anything. No, that's not true. And here's what I realized. They want to find something. They want to be against you. They want to see you fail. Once I saw that, everything changed. I'm like, those people are meaningless to me. I'm trying to think of a better way to explain it. It's like they're the enemy. They're always going to be the enemy, just like the narcissist. They're not going to change. They wanted to do this. They were just looking for an excuse to do it. A lot of people, they just don't have a reason because you really didn't do nothing. They can't just start being a dick, because then people are like, why are you being a dick to this person? Well, I don't like them. Why don't you like them? I don't have a reason. So let these insecure shitheads crawl under a rock with their little groupies and their friends, and let them be miserable. Because here's the thing. Here's the other thing you're going to start seeing. They do it to each other. There's nothing more brutal than a group of narcissists or sub-narcissists / flying monkeys attacking each other. Just watch it. You can see the depression, the stress, the fear. Okay, so this last person I'm talking about, I used to ask him, like, what's going on? Like, why do you have so much anxiety? Why? Because at first I didn't know what was going on. Well, it's because he's talked shit about all these people at his work. And so now these people are coming back again and again, and they're all just looking at him with this cold FU look. So now he's surrounded by, and here's the thing, he can't stop doing it. They put themselves in the danger zone, the uncomfort zone. When you have the ability to take that big, large step back and just watch, even if you're having memories from a week, a month, 2 months ago, a year ago, you'll be like, they did talk fast. They did, sweat, and they did kind of have this panic in their eyes. It's because they're so worried. See, on the one level, they are lying to themselves. Oh, everybody likes me. I didn't do anything wrong. It's a pure lie. On a deeper emotional level, we call it the unconscious level, they know what they're doing is wrong. They know they're pissing people off. They know people are pissed off at them, and so now they're going, oh, shit. And here's the other part. They have to remember what lies they said to what person, when, where, how, and what. Because, okay, I've got it. So they can't really stay close to anyone for any length of time, because they've lied about this person, they lied about that person, they've lied about this and this and that. They said they don't believe in God, and then a month later suddenly they go to church every Sunday. You're like, wait, I thought you said you didn't believe in God, you didn't believe in heaven. All of a sudden their lies start to reveal themselves because they don't make sense. Like, wait, I thought you said you were a Republican, now you're a liberal. Like, wait, what's going on? They do that number, and that's one of the ways you can tell a narcissist. Even if they're not a narcissist, that's the kind of person you need to get the hell away from. All right, so back to the original point. So what happens is they've lied to people. They've said A, and now they're saying the opposite Z. And you're like, wait, this doesn't make sense. I thought you totally hated this person. Now you love them. Now you support them. I thought you said you didn't go to church. I thought you said you didn't believe in God, and you thought it was just airy-fairy bullshit, a fairy tale. Now you're a devout Catholic and you go to church every Sunday. Like, make up your mind. And this is what causes them tremendous anxiety, because they're thinking. And by the way, a lot of narcissists, they drink a lot of coffee because they need the energy to be like, okay, wait, what did I say to this person? They have to remember their stories. It's like the hard drive's going faster and faster and faster and faster. They try to remember all the information. Like, what did I say? Oh shit, what did I say to that guy? Oh shit, these two guys are together. Did I say the opposite? What if I say yes to this and no to this guy, but they're together now? And they're in a constant panic attack. Because they can't remember the lies that they told you, or told them, or told your friend, and now you're both together. These people live in constant panic and fear. When you see that, you're going to be like, man, those guys are miserable. Trust me, any adult past the age of 28, 32 years old, they're going to start picking up on this stuff, and more and more people are just going to look at that person and go, wow. And what you're going to start realizing is all these people that act like they're friends with them or cordial, you're going to see it in their eyes, because it's like their arms are crossed and their faces crossed. It's kind of like a serious tone. They don't open up to them. You're going to start realizing, like, wait, these people don't like this guy. No, they don't. You're going to start feeling more and more free. Now, I'm going to use a phrase. I'm not 100% sure what this phrase means, so I'm going to have to give you what I mean when I say it. I believe I'm a dark empath, and here's what I mean. I don't hurt people. I do healing work, etc. When it comes to narcissists, though, this is what I believe that phrase means. If it doesn't, then I probably shouldn't use this phrase. When I realize someone has been lying to me, playing games, gaslighting, and doing all the devaluing and all the bullshit, that's when I step in. So with this person, I literally would be like, you know, when so they think and think and think and think, right? Because they're nervous and go, got the demons going on. Oh, you got a couple of demonic entities inside there talking to you, and they'd look at me like, holy shit, he knows, like, and then I'd say, all right, have a nice day. I'd walk back another day. It's like, hey man, I just want you to know your mask is slipping. I literally said this to this person for months. And they'd get real quiet and they wouldn't respond and kind of look at me and look away and think of, and they realize like there's nothing they can say. I'm like, hey man, your mask is slipping, man. The customers are coming. This is what I mean by being a dark empath. I'm not actually hurting anyone or doing anything to them. I'm just like, and one time because they tend to think and think and think, and they generally tend to talk to themselves. And so I was just like, who are you talking to inside there? You got a little demon inside you talking to you? Having a conversation with those demons? What's going on? And they'd look at me like, oh shit. And they would never respond to that. They would just look at me with this wide-eyed look. I go, yeah. Another time I said, you do realize I can see the demon in you, right? Yeah, I know they're in there. See, you start to realize you're not a victim here. You're the one who's empowered. You start to realize that you have always been in the position of power. All you have to do is start calling them on their shit, and that's what I'm doing. And they're like, oh, Jesus, like he's revealing it. He's bringing these hidden truths up to light. Now, here's the other thing I realize. When you, as an empath, catch on to a narcissist game, they freak out. They lose, especially when you tell them, hey man, I know you're a narcissist. What? And like, no, not like, yeah, you are. You know that I know. I know that you know that I can see it. I know, dude. And I'll say, you got a little demon, you got demon entities, I would just call them on it. Every time I'd see this person, I would throw one of those out there. You know what happens? They start to act out. They're all of a sudden they're panicking, they're freaking out, and they do stuff without even thinking. It just kind of comes out, and so you know how like you just react, you just rah, and they do stuff, and they were doing this to person after person. I'm just sitting there watching because people are starting to see it because it's being amplified. It's out of control. The mask has slipped, and people can see it. Nothing more empowering than destroying a narcissist's ability to attack people. I promise you this, as you move along in life, you're going to get less shame, you're going to feel more empowered, you're going to start seeing what's going on, you're going to start seeing that other people realize what's going on. You're not alone. The game, the tide has shifted. Alright, that's it for this video, guys. God bless you. I hope this video helped you. Hope it had an impact on you and gave you some tips and tricks and things that you can do. I am a narcissist recovery specialist. If you need help dealing with this or dealing with your emotions, I'm a specialist in emotional healing. Get a hold of me. Go to Mike Kollin at MikeKollin.com. If you want to go ahead and support this channel, there's a PayPal link right there in the description box. You can go ahead and make a donation. You can also buy one of my dating relationship books, Cracked Female Code for Men and for Women, Why Men Just Don't Get It, and Every Woman's Battle, The Need for Love and Emotional Fulfillment. Alright guys, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.